Hello everyone, welcome to Talk Wrestling here on NoDQ.com, MySpace.com, and YouTube. Thank you again for watching last week's episode. We really appreciate the viewership. I know I let you guys down on answering questions last show. I apologize, but I got your questions right here. They're right here. I wrote them all down, I promise. And let's get to them right now. Let's not waste any time. Thank you again for watching last week. As I mentioned, the WrestleMania Hall of Fame and Dylan recap, if you will. And let me know, again, keep the feedback coming. I want to know what you guys thought of WrestleMania, what you guys thought of the Hall of Fame, what you guys think of me having a son. Scary thought, I know. Let's hear what your feedback is. First question comes from Jace. I believe it's pronounced Jace. It's J-A-C-E. I'm going to assume it's pronounced Jace. He wants to know what the situation is between Vince McMahon and the Randy Macho Man Savage. I don't know, to be honest with you. All I know is every time there's been a Macho Man promoted anything coming out of WWE, Vince has rejected it. There was a classic figures that they were working out between Jax and the Macho Man, and Vince turned it down. There was a Macho Man DVD scheduled to come out this year. Vince, again, shut it down. You have to ask Vince McMahon that question, because I don't know what happened between Vince and Randy Savage. All I know is he left the company in 1994, I want to say. 1994. His last appearance at pay-per-view was SummerSlam 94. He was the master of ceremonies that night. And that was the last time we saw Macho Man Savage on pay-per-view. And he went to WCW after that and stayed with them for whatever it was, 5 years, 6 years. And since then, he's kind of drifted off into the sunset. He was in TNA for a cup of coffee. But we haven't seen him attempt to make a comeback in WWE. I guess he's too injured or too beat up or whatever. But for some reason, there's friction between him and Vince. No idea why. I apologize for not knowing the answer. For once, they stumped me. I don't know what the answer is to that question. This is from another Jeff, not me. I didn't ask my own question, don't worry. Different Jeff wants to know, does Kofi Kingston have a big future in WWE? I think Kofi does have a bright future with the company. They're pushing him to the moon right now. He's undefeated on ECW, which doesn't say much, because ECW is definitely the C brand, the third brand, if you will. But if he continues to be undefeated, he may get a ECW world title shot, if not a world title run. And even though it's not called the ECW world title, it is a world heavyweight championship, much like the world title on SmackDown, the WWE title on Raw. It is a world championship. Hopefully, I'm hoping that they will give him some sort of big main event style push with Kofi, because I like Kofi. He's a great athlete, incredible athlete. The stuff he does is phenomenal to me. Not to rag on AJ's catchphrase or anything, but he is. He's phenomenal. And, they haven't beat Shelton Benjamin, which is okay, because Shelton's a great athlete, and it's a good stepping stone for Kofi to get past, and he can only go up. This is from Jackal. What do you think of Lashley going to TNA? Very distinct possibility. Kurt Angle's high on him, and Kurt Angle has a lot to say in TNA right now. Kurt Angle is the megastar in TNA right now, along with guys like Booker T and Sting and AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and Christian Cage and those guys. And I know Angle's really high on Bobby Lashley. He likes Bobby Lashley a lot, and I think from what I heard, Jeff Jarrett likes Lashley too. And now that Lashley's no-compete clause is up, he's wrestling for Booker T's promotion in Houston, Texas, I know, and sometime in, I think, June, maybe even late May. But we probably will see him in TNA. If Kurt Angle has his way, I bet we'll definitely see him in TNA. And what do I think of all the racism in WWE? There's not a lot of racism in WWE. And Michael Hayes, that's it. Michael Hayes made a racist comment, and everybody's like, oh my god, the whole company. No, the whole company's not racist. It's not. If the whole company was racist, you wouldn't see guys like Shelton Benjamin, Kofi Kingston. You wouldn't see, all these, ethnic guys get pushes like that. It wouldn't happen. You wouldn't see Chavo Guerrero be a world champion. You wouldn't see Eddie Guerrero have been a world champion. There's no big racism situation in WWE. It's simply Michael Hayes made a stupid comment, and now he's suspended for it. He's paying the price for it. This is from Crisco Black, not spelled like Crisco the oil, but Crisco, C-R-Y-S-C-O Black. Do you see TNA picking up more talent from PWG, the local indie promotion I attend out here? It's a possibility. PWG borrows a lot of the guys from Ring of Honor, borrows a lot of guys that used to work for TNA, that, PWG and TNA used to have a working agreement before TNA got their new DVD deal. So we could see PWG guys conceivably working for TNA. However, you won't see PWG guys working contract for TNA. Because TNA contracts, if you have a contract with TNA, you can only appear with TNA. That means you can't appear on PWG DVDs, because that's the way the PWG has worked out with highspots.com. So you won't see contracted TNA guys work for PWG and vice versa. But you could see, guys get borrowed from either promotion to come to the promotion. And every once in a while, you'll see an Alex Shelley at PWG or a Frankie Kazarian at PWG. Every once in a while, they'll allow it. For some reason, they allow that. I don't know why, but they do. Do you see them adding more women wrestlers? No. The knockout division is solid. They've got a lot of great talent in that division. Yes, there's a lot of the eye candy, but the eye candy can wrestle in TNA. They actually can work. It's not like WWE where the eye candy is just that, eye candy. The good-looking girls can actually work. You got, Velvet Sky and Angelina Love and Salinas and Gail Kim and ODB and Raisha Saeed, who really is cheerleader Melissa. It's the same woman, believe it or not. Cheerleader Melissa, the one that was on Impact a couple weeks ago in the purple cheerleader uniform, is Raisha Saeed. Awesome Kong is a handler, manager, whatever you want to call her. She's a wrestler too, and she's good looking too. And you've got Daisy Mays, who appeared with TNA not too long ago. She's good looking. But these girls can wrestle. And it's refreshing to see a women's division that actually has a lot of working wrestlers that actually can compete. So I don't think they need to add any more girls. They really don't. They've got a good, solid talent pool of women wrestlers in TNA right now. And does TNA need new titles? No. No more titles. They've got the world title for people to chase after. They got the X Division for the X Division title. And they've got the tag team titles, which are going to have already been filled, believe it or not. I didn't see the pay-per-view. I haven't watched TNA in a couple weeks, and I apologize for that. I've been busy. I have a newborn, okay? I'm a little preoccupied. But the TNA titles have been filled. There's new tag team champions out there. Congratulations to them. And so we'll see what happens with the tag team division. It can only pick up, because it's not doing that well, but it can only pick up, to be honest with you. So they don't need any more championships in TNA. I think they're set. This is from Benjamin, our ring announcer at Epic. Hi, Ben. Good to hear from you. Anyway, Benjamin wants to know if it's confusing having 3 WWE World titles. No, I don't think it is. I think each show has their own world title. I think it's very distinct which title goes with which show. You've got the WWE Championship that's on the flagship show, the flagship title on the flagship show, that's Raw. You've got the World Heavyweight Championship that used to be on Raw, but now it's on SmackDown. It's the Undertaker's title. It is. I don't care what Vicky Guerrero says. Undertaker is the world champion. Should still be champion. That's my opinion. And you got the ECW title for the ECW brand, which is held by Kane at the present time. I don't see them, changing that up anytime soon. They've got 3 world titles for the 3 different brands. I like the fact that SmackDown and ECW have kind of combined themselves together since they tape on the same day anyway. They might as well have the combined roster. And that way they have the tag team titles for both shows. SmackDown has the WWE titles for that show and for ECW. You've got the U.S. title that can be defended on ECW occasionally. You've got the women's title that's exclusive to Raw. You've got the World Tag Team title exclusive to Raw. The Intercontinental title exclusive to Raw. They've got enough titles that they don't need to change it up so much. And they've got exclusive titles for each shows, which is good. They have one for Raw and one for SmackDown/ECW. I don't find it confusing, but that's me. I've been watching for 20 years. I kind of got the lay of the land down. I kind of know what's happening. These new fans, they kind of go, wait, which title goes to which show? You just have to kind of follow it week by week and, keep up with WWE.com. That way you know what titles on what show. This is from Peter Gilmore. When do you think Abyss is returning? Abyss. From what I heard, he's going to come back in the next few months, if not sooner. And he's going to come back without the mask. He's going to come back as Chris Parks, his real name. Because they were pushing toward that. They were kind of calling him Chris more often than not. James Mitchell was calling him Chris. Sting was calling him Chris. And I think that Abyss is finally going to emerge from his shadow, emerge from the darkness, if you will, and embrace the light, so to speak. He'll come back as Chris Parks. He'll dominate. I don't think he'll dominate. He'll have a big hand in the world title situation. He may even get a world title shot or two against Joe or whoever the champion may be when he comes back. But I don't think you'll see Abyss go any higher than the mid-card again. This is from The Rob. What do you think of CM Punk as the Money in the Bank winner? Will he be the first to cash in and lose? That's what they're pushing toward, it seems like, doesn't it? Punk keeps losing every single week on television. But what I think is going to happen is Punk will keep losing. They'll keep pushing him down, like, okay, well, he can't do anything. He can't win the tag titles. He can't win singles matches. He can't do anything. And then he'll surprise everybody and cash in for the ECW championship and win it back. That's what will happen. Mark my words. He'll cash it in for the ECW championship and win his title back. You heard it here first. This is from Roll Buddy Greg Cherry. Do you think it's time for WWE to start mentioning Chris Benoit again? Yes, what happened in his final days was tragic, but I think it is. I think WWE needs to finally just grow up, to be honest with you. You can't ignore what Benoit contributed to the business. Yes, his last days were tragic and horrifying. There's no way around that. What he did was unimaginable. I have a wife to be, and a little boy. I can't imagine taking their lives or my own right now. I can't wrap my head around that. That's a horrible thing to do. But when you consider his mindset and the way his mind had degraded to that of an 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient, it kind of puts things in perspective. It really does. And I think it's time for WWE to acknowledge the fact that Chris Benoit was one of the all-time greats. The fact that Chris Benoit deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame is indisputable in my mind. And he's a former world champion, former intercontinental champion, former tag team champion, European champion, I believe. Maybe not. I'm trying to remember. I don't think so. Former WCW champion, former WCW TV champion, tag team champion, U.S. champion, both companies. I think it's time for WWE to finally just move on and say, okay, Chris Benoit did exist, and he was one of the all-time greats. From my buddy JJ, he wants to know my opinion on Torrie Wilson's release from WWE. I think it sucks. Yeah, she's got a bad back. Yeah, she's not going to be healthy 100% ever again, probably. But you know what? They could have found a lot of things for her to do in public relations, making appearances for the company, doing autograph sessions like they do for a lot of these old-timers. And they just let her go. They just cut her off. That's bullshit. I think it sucks. I really do. I think that she should be coming back, and she should be in a public relations role, and she should be able to work for the company and make a decent living. Yeah, she's got her clothing line now, and that's going good for her and Nick Mitchell, formerly of the Spirit Squad, but WWE pays like nobody else, and everybody that works at WWE can tell you the same thing. Walter wants to know what my favorite finisher is, what the best finisher ever is, past or present. I gotta go with the Undertaker's finishers, all three of them. Tombstone, great pile driver, great, ending to a match. You tombstone the guy and then you fold the hands over and do the eye roll, and do the whole tongue out now. It's really cool looking. The last ride was a great power bomb. You pick the guy up and then you just boom, great stuff. And his new move, which is called, I don't know how to pronounce it. He calls it the Dead Man's Judgment, I guess he is what Undertaker calls it, but it's called either a Gogoplata or a Guguplata. G-O-G-O Plata, P-L-A-T-A. That's how you say it. I don't know how to say it, but that's how it's spelled. Look it up, WWE. It's called the Gogoplata. Anyway, that's a great submission hold, a great choke hold. Yes, it's supposedly illegal now, but that'll last how long? Yeah, right. I think that he's got great finishers. He's had great finishers his entire WWE career for the last 18 years. And that's just my opinion. He's got the best finishers. This is from Simon Nicole Diamond, SND. Last question. Should WWE hire Warrior for him versus Vince at WrestleMania 25? No. Warrior is how old? Warrior is how out of shape. Warrior is nowhere near WWE material anymore. He hasn't been for years. And with all the heat between him and Vince McMahon, I don't think you'll ever see that happen again. Warrior has held them up too many times for money and no-show events and done everything to screw up his career in WWE. I don't think you'll ever see him back in WWE. And would Kaz being TNA champ change TNA? If only for the better. Frankie's a great athlete. Frankie's a great wrestler. I I don't think TNA or the TNA fans are ready for him to be world champion yet. I think they're happy with Samoa Joe being champion finally after all these years. So they're going to let that kind of ride off for a while. They're going to let that ride as long as they possibly can. Somewhere down the line, if Frankie's still with the company in a year or two, I'd say he'd make a great world champion for TNA, but not yet. Also want to talk real quick about Rob Van Dam and his wife Sonya. My condolences and congratulations go out to them. Condolences over Sonya having the colon cancer. Congratulations over beating it with the surgery. My love out to you both. I know you guys. Hopefully you guys are watching. I tried to call you, but you don't pick up the phone, man. I see how it is. It's cool. I've not talked to them yet, but I will. I will be talking to them very soon, and I know that they appreciate all the love that they get from the fans that watch this show and their fans in general. And don't forget to watch RVD TV on robvandam.com. It's not that expensive. It's cheap. So order it. Order the membership, pay for it, and enjoy it. And support Rob and Sonya in their time of need right now. And the Nick Hogan thing. Oh, Nicky boy. Nick Hogan's been sentenced to 8 months in prison and 5 years probation after that. Wow. 17 years old, and he's going to serve 8 months in prison. That's rough. But you know what? When you drive too fast, when you screw around with the law, when you drive recklessly, that's what happens, unfortunately, in life. One of the reasons why I don't drive is because there's people like Nick Hogan on the road. That's why I don't drive. Because there's people like that on the road causing accidents, making people get hurt, and causing injuries to friends. And, you know, I've lost a lot of friends to car accidents in the last about 7 years of my life. You know, especially when I was in high school, for people driving stupidly and driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol. So I am right there with the courts, full punishment. You know, give him the time, give him the probation, and hopefully he'll sit and think about it for 8 months when he's in there. If he gets on good behavior, so much the better for him, because I don't think he'll last 8 months. He'll go crazy, and he'll be somebody's bitch before too long. But it's sad to see a young life thrown away like that, and it sucks that Hogan's life and the Hulkster's life is in such disarray right now. I feel bad for the Hogan family right now, but it is what it is, and hopefully they can recover. So, that's it for this edition of Talk Wrestling. Thank you very much again for watching, and remember, it's just my opinion.